Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah,
Okay.
literally like I was on the main Wi-Fi and then like I got kicked off.
But I guess I'll just retell starting roughly 25% ahead.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Kanzer makes this argument about privatizing Bitcoin Core, and it causes Scoresby, who wrote this post, to um, que- question whether that would be a violation of what it means for Bitcoin Core to be open source. Like, can something be open source and still be private the way Brian Bishop or Kanzer describes? And Scoresby comes to the conclusion that yeah, because being open source doesn't really give you any special rights to like the maintainer's time or to be part of any kinds of discussions or to even contribute to the project. All that open source means is that the source, free and open source means is that the source is available and that you can modify it and do what you want with it. You can, yeah, and that's basically it. And so Brian Bishop's post, although it offended many people, it didn't. And I think will not be pursued, is consistent with open source at the very least. And so Scoresby has that realization, and then compares it to the book, or then yeah, ties in the book East of Eden, that towards the end the uh, discusses Genesis in the Bible and the term "thou shalt," which is pretty awesome. I read East of Eden last year, and um, basically that phrase has been perhaps mistranslated as kind of what the conclusion of the characters in the book is, and "thou shalt" implies that you should do something, or it will happen, and the book concludes instead that "thou shalt" has been mistranslated from "thou mayest," and "thou mayest" means that you have choice, you have free will, you um, you get to choose whether you are, say, absolved of sin. And so that's how Scoresby ties it into this really, I think one of Steinbeck's best uh,
Yeah.
works of fiction, is that that's kind of what that even though Bitcoin Core would be privatized,
Yeah.
you still have freedom with the source code. Uh,
Yeah.
but you have no special right. You don't have a special right to be absolved of sin. You can choose. You can, if you choose to fork Bitcoin's code, read it, do it, modify it. Anyway, uh, kind of we're tying three things together here. But I thought it was a pretty cool post, especially for anyone who's read East of Eden. If you haven't read East of Eden, I highly recommend it. It's probably one of the most beautiful books I've ever read. Just like absolute poetry and just lots of wisdom. Um, anyway,
Yeah, what are your thoughts on it? What's your thoughts on this? Do you have any thoughts on it? Or what does the
well,
stackers
I don't think it's.
what the stackers say
Oh,
too?
yeah, I'm not. I don't really know everything that Stacker said, but my thoughts on it are that it's worth talking about these things if it if it helps people come to the realization that Scoresby did and helps us understand the nature of open source, even because we all think of Bitcoin might be different than other things. Maybe the same rules don't apply. So I tend to agree with Scoresby that it won't happen, but it's it's worth it's worth talking about nearly anything that might improve Bitcoin
Oh,
because
so it
we
hasn't
all think
happened
it'll
yet,
be
or they
important.
already decided? It feels like they decided basically.
No, it didn't. They didn't.
Oh, okay.
It's still public. It's not a private repo. It's not privatized.
I think it would
It's
be
still public.
I think it would be a sad day if that did happen,
Yeah,
personally. I
yeah,
think it would
I
be a
agree.
very sad day. I would just pour out a beer, be crying like Michael Jordan if that were to happen. It's yeah, it would be very sad. It would just
Yeah, I think
yeah.
it wouldn't be the end of the world. It would just be sad. I think that's kind of the point that Scoresby is making, is that at the end of the world is when we don't have access to Bitcoin's software anymore at all, and
It's kind of
or
how
it
I
becomes closed source or something.
yeah, it's kind of how I feel about Jack Mallers. It's like that, the same thing. Just kind of
Yeah,
sad. Yeah. Dang. Hopefully that doesn't happen. But
it won't.
I
I don't think it
honestly
will.
wouldn't be shocked just the way the timeline's going. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. What'd I say? ETF, man. Anyways, let's go to the number one story. Hopefully that never happens. I'll start praying for it. That never happens. The number one story of the week is why are Bitcoiners idiots? This is from Den, June 26th, SN territory. 88 comments, 11,100 sats. Keyan. I think I stay away from this post. I personally don't think Bitcoiners are idiots, but I think maybe you do, or
Oh
do you, or
no,
do you, or do you?
not especially. I mean, I come down where most commenters came down in this thread, and it's like, everyone at least displays um, idiot-like behavior, uh, and we might see more of it among Bitcoiners because we pay a lot of attention to them. And a lot of Bitcoiners might be thrust into a spotlight where they can reveal their idiocy, um, more so than normal people. But I don't think they're especially stupid. I think Shinobi talks about this a lot, um, and I think he believes it's true. But I don't. I'm not even sure if he's just trolling. He also tends, I think, to say things that he feels, and not really interested in whether they're exactly true, because he's mostly interested in how people react to it. But yeah, I don't think Bitcoiners are idiots. But Den Den's point in this, or Den's example of idiocy, is this podcast with Preston Fish, um, with the guest is Seb Bunny, who talks about a book that Den has actually read, and gets appears to not have actually read the book, and so Den gets kind of upset.
Well, did he actually listen to the
Um,
Audible though? Because
yes, well, it might be a sign that he only listened to the Audible, that he didn't fully, yeah, internalize the content. Um, but yeah, that's basically his thing. Is like, I think Den is kind of frustrated. He sees a lot of Bitcoiners, um, who he agrees with, has so much in common with, but then he sees them kind of step out of their lane and just say something that
that's my
is
middle name.
untrue with high confidence, and it's idiot like behavior. And is that more? He's asking the question: is it, in midst of his frustration, he's asking the question whether it's more common among Bitcoiners than the rest of the
100%.
population.
I think it's more
And
common amongst Bitcoiners. Yeah.
well, I definitely, I don't really know. I'm too in it. I see it, but I do see it quite frequently. And I think,
But
I
that
think
doesn't make
I
him an
just, I
idiot,
keep it.
though. I don't think that
No,
makes him an
I don't
idiot,
think
right?
so. No, it makes him foolhardy. I think I mean, we're probably both guilty of this too.
Yeah,
So I
100%.
don't want to, I don't want to I don't want to be too hard on uh, people who have this problem. But yeah, I think I keep going back to the thing Jimmy Song said that I really liked, on like
Oh, did he
why do people
comment
think
here
Bitcoin
too?
is. He commented in here, but I was still so struck by an insight that he had that was just so simple and just rang so true for me. I think it was a post from maybe 6 months to a year ago that we also covered on the podcast. Or I think someone asked, like, is there some spiritual quality to Bitcoin? It seems like lots of Bitcoiners have like spiritual awakening around Bitcoin. And Jimmy's like, it's pretty simple, is effectively what he said. It's just that these people became wealthy, um,
Good point.
and had a huge, huge, change in their state of mind and the way they thought about the world when they didn't have to, scrape and
Yeah.
race in the rat race,
Yeah. Totally.
just to be able to think about their future. Like they're finally able to think about their future clearly,
Yeah.
and that has to feel, profound. And I think that might be the case here. Similar kind of thing, but maybe not working for good for people, is they have this huge come up. And I think for some people who have a ego that's a little less restrained, it kind of shows up as them believing they figured out more than they have. And I think that's most of what uh, I think is going on. I think I commented to that effect, is that like getting rich. I said getting rich quick is a hell of a
So
drug.
so I guess
But
this guy got rich quick, I guess right here. Is that what's going on?
oh no, I didn't mean he actually got rich quick. I just meant most
Oh.
Bitcoiners, they got rich. Like before something like Bitcoin, and with absent, um, putting a lot of effort into something, founding a new product, whatever. Like we were talking about this actually earlier with Saylor and Mallers, but um, getting rich wasn't a matter of buying an asset and holding it for 4 years. It was a matter of
Building something that
putting a lot
people
of,
wanted to buy.
yeah, yeah, building
No,
something valuable, which
it
is
was what
really
Warren.
hard.
It was what
It takes
Warren
way
Buffett
longer
talks
than four
about. Yeah,
years.
it was what Warren Buffett talks
It
about.
takes way longer than 4 years,
It
and
was building
so
something of
that's what
value.
I meant.
Yeah, yeah,
And actually, 4 years is a long time frame. Most people don't even have the like patience or
yeah,
attention span for 4 years, and so even waiting for 4 years shows a unique level of constraint that most idiots would lack. But that is pretty quick to get, you know, well, like generational wealth in 4 years potentially, depending on how you played it. That is a really big deal, and I think so. I think it does get to some people's head.
yeah. Cool. Yeah, I think the only thing I thought, so I when I put this comment underneath yours, I thought you meant he was the one that was rich. So that's why I thought he was on Preston's
Oh
podcast. Yeah.
no, I don't
Okay.
actually. I didn't actually listen to the podcast, and I don't know the
Oh.
person in the podcast, and I'm basically taking Den's word for it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I really don't have any comments on this, to be honest. Like, I think just kind of what I've seen most of the time. Whenever people that are unknown go on these bigger podcasts, it's usually because they're rich, and that's usually why they're on a podcast. Everybody's trying to get into a fund.
Well, you
So
were on what Bitcoin did. Does that make you rich? Huh? Oh, oh
just kidding. No,
shit.
that was like, hey, car, you need to help you. I think that's what that was.
I see. Hey, poor. We're trying out socialism with our podcast, and
No, I think that was more Peter trying to get the plebs behind him. I think that's what that. I think he started off the show saying that actually. Um, but
cool.
plus, his podcast doesn't have a fun attached to it, or did it have a fun attached to it? That was the only difference. Um, Preston has a
Mm.
fun attached to it. Marty's has its fun attached to it. All these other podcasts have funds attached to it. So that's what I thought you meant when you posted that at the bottom.
Oh no,
Yeah.
that's not what I meant.
Anyways, cool. I think that's all the top 5 stories that we covered. Let's
It
jump
is.
into. We got no slam this week. Let's jump into my picks real quick. I wanted to do the Tesla's robot platform. Did you? So they rolled out the robo taxi last week in Austin. This guy
Mhm.
like he ridden like 5 different robo taxis, and he was just kind of
Mm.
showing how it worked. And I watched most of this. I was just fascinated by it. Apparently there was one thing that happened, like it rode on the wrong side. That was the only mishap that
Mhm.
happened last week in Austin, where like the whole robo taxi like went on the wrong side of the road briefly. Um, so that was interesting. what was more fascinating is this, Keon. So like the whole lidar system that these Waymos use, apparently it's way
Hmm.
more expensive. I had no idea that was a thing.
Hmm.
And then but what Elon's doing is using AI, you know,
Vision
yeah, all that
cameras,
stuff,
normal
vision
cameras.
cameras. And so
Yeah.
when you look at look at just like the cost of just the cost, and then the just how much over time that's going to go down, and just how much over time the lidar system is going to go up, because we know that when it comes to that type of technology, yeah. Anyways, I actually think freaking Elon, dude, I was wrong. I was 100% wrong on this. I actually thought the lidar system was, and I remember saying this. I don't think I said it on the pod, but I definitely said it in the lab. I actually thought the lidar system was actually going to make more sense. I was completely wrong about that. This actually, now I'm actually more bullish on the AI system. I mean, we'll see. It's still early. I was telling Topher, I was like, he has a is a like the robot taxi thing. Like, dude, your car can literally just make you money at this point. You could go to work and you can say buy car and then go make you money. It's insane, dude, and it's only going to go
Hmm.
lower.
Hmm.
It's insane. And the more
Yeah,
you
yeah.
think about it, the more you think about it, like all the cameras that we're gonna have with these AR glasses, like those are literally robots waiting to be turned into. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna start slapping cameras on robots. Next thing you know, they're Uber Eats people, just like they're just walking around downtown like doing deliveries. Dude, we're
Yeah,
almost there,
you
man.
put some Google glasses on your dog, and now it's like it's doing
We
DoorDash.
have
Yeah,
robot dogs at this
yeah,
point. Like, dude, we're there at this point. I don't know. This like got my mind thinking. But yeah,
yeah.
it's
Actually, Elon's been saying this
crazy.
for a while. He's been
Yeah,
saying
I
it, I
know.
think, since Waymo first started experimenting with their lidar systems, which had to be like almost 10 years ago. But he's like, so human beings drive with just basically two cameras on their head, and
Oh,
he's
he
like,
said that? Oh,
uh,
wow.
yeah, that's basically what he said. He's like, so if we can make, if we can make these AI, if we can make the AI like
Yeah.
sufficiently smart, all it really should need is a Tesla has more than two cameras, but he's like, all it should really need is two cameras. Um,
God.
and so he kind
Wow.
of thought about it first principles perspective like that, and he's like, lidar, it seems great right now, and it is, it does shine in certain situations where it does have an advantage over cameras. But if you just want drivers that are slightly more reliable than humans, or significantly more reliable, I'm sure, than humans, all you need is a really well thinking, a nice brain, even if it's a digital AI one, and cameras that can see like humans' eyes, or better.
Yeah.
And you don't need sophisticated uncommon components to do it. And I thought it sounded very true to me, and it seemed like the slight advantage of lidar allowed Waymo to get ahead, but kind of like the tortoise and the hare.
Right.
Um, yeah, I think we're gonna see the robo taxi thing just went out
I
in a
think,
big way.
yeah, I think you're right. I think short term, I definitely feel safer in a Waymo for sure. But I think
Hmm.
long term, I think, yeah, I think you're right.
Yep. Yeah.
I was shocked when I read this post, showed up in my inbox. I was just shocked. I was like, wow, somebody actually ran the numbers. Like,
Yeah.
this was like an investor post, and I was like, wow, somebody ran the numbers and actually done that. And like, there's a whole other thing around this. It's like a whole graph and stuff.
Yeah.
I was just like, wow. Anyways,
Yeah. And Elon predicted the unit economics of this, back then. He's just like, it's going to be way cheaper, and unit economics matters a lot, especially for AI stuff that's gathering data. If you can make more of them, you can gather more data, which means your AI uh, can get more intelligent, which means you're ahead.
yeah,
So it's pretty simple.
yeah, dude. I just like this just got me so much more bullish on hardware. I think we're just gonna see a hardware boom, dude. I just think we're just like I think we're about to see a hardware boom. I think we are.
I think we're at the beginning stages of it, but yeah, I've already seen signs of it
Yeah.
personally, with
Um,
with Pebble coming back, which they
so
quit because they it was too hard before. It must mean it's gotten easier.
the next thing I wanted to bring up was the early days episode I had with Lakos of Portal. He's doing hardware in Bitcoin. It had a really good conversation with him. We talked about Portal and about what he's building there. Really interesting guy. We talked about
So he's not doing the
NFC.
hardware wallet anymore.
No, he is. He's just integrating a little bit more
Okay.
different features to it, and he has a really interesting spec around DIDs and Noster and stuff like that. Dude, he's very he's like us, dude. Like the guy thinks deep about things, and he's very creative. And the way he come, like I asked him the same type of questions I would ask people that come to Flub Lab. Like where do you come up with these, like where do you come up with these ideas? Why do you think like this? Like what makes you, like, like trying to find out what makes him go. And he's very curious guy, very curious guy. um
Yeah, he's also very into co-working. I know you guys talked about that when he visited Blab Lab, I
oh
think
yeah,
two
I was
years
asking
ago
him
or
that too.
something.
Yeah, we were talking about that too.
Yeah,
And then at the end
yeah.
I was we were talking about Portal and all that stuff. But definitely check it out, Stackers. I think it's one of my favorite episodes that I've recorded so far, just because he's a good friend of the lab, and I love talking to him. Super bullish on Portal though, super bullish. And then
Have you
the other,
checked it? Have you seen the actual device? It's actually really, it's
yeah,
aesthetically very well done, and I think pretty cool. It has the shape of it as a key,
yeah,
which kind of is a nice kind of reminder of what it's for. There's a lot of cool things about what they've done.
yeah. We're gonna we have, well, Nick has one already that we've been playing with, or he's been playing with, and then we just ordered another one. So we're
Oh,
gonna,
cool.
I'll probably do a workshop on that one. Plus, he's already shown us the last year when we had him. He did a workshop at Plub Lab that we have up on Plub TV. But super bullish on it. The other one I wanted to share was the curated realities. So this was an AI film festival that got released. Some really great articles. Also, I should mention, I forget who opened up the new AI territory. They resurrected it. Do you know who that was?
Optimism,
Yeah, Optimism did.
optimism.
So badly needed. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, so this one got released. This thing here won the AI Film Festival. Dude, I watched this thing like 15 times. It's so good, dude. It's so good. It was like, it reminded me the
Mm-hmm.
first time I saw Primal. I don't know if you ever, or not Primal, Primer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you ever saw
Oh,
Primer.
Primer. I remember Primer.
It
I
reminded me
did
of
see
that, where I
Primer.
just watched it like 15 times and like had to understand it. And like it just led to so many different like firings in my head. But it's called Total Pixel Space. It's almost like a meta commentary on AI film and like where it's headed.
Mm-hmm.
And at least I would like to hear, dude, you should watch it so we can talk about this at some point, because it would be interesting to hear your thoughts on it. I have my thoughts on it, but I would like to hear your thoughts on it, because it's
Okay.
yeah, I won't, I guess you can read it if you want to read my thoughts, but it's fascinating. I emailed the guy almost immediately. This is where I wish I had like a thriller podcast again, where I could go interview these guys just to pick their brain. But I emailed him immediately and I was like, "Yo, dude, I just saw your thing. I'm fascinated by it. Keep up the great work. Let me know if there's anything I could do." Just because he's a professor at Arizona.
Hmm.
So
Okay. Is this I think I missed the title of this post and I can't see your screen. It's The Life of Chuck.
no, it's called
Is that the
Curated
one?
Realities by Zero X Bitcoiner,
Okay.
was a snacker.
Oh, curated realities. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Sweet.
uh,
All right.
yeah,
I'll check it out.
yeah. Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. I don't know how. I mean, it's. I don't know how. At some point, I will reach out to him again, and like I'll keep pen paling him. It's
Have
good to
you
have
made
pen
anything
pals.
AI
Yeah.
video? Oh,
Have I?
sorry.
No,
Yeah.
I don't have the time to. Trust me, I would. If I wasn't doing Pleb Lab full time, I would be all in on this. All in. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. Cool. The other thing would is the just want to bring this up. This was another Den post. Who are the world's best investors? And just so you know, this is a very clickbaity article, and turns out the best investors are corporations. So keep
Oh,
investing in them.
yeah. All
Yeah.
right.
I mean, it just kind of just goes to show that all the places that we were complaining about earlier are the best places to invest in, and it also just goes to show too we're just like in a super bubble right now, or about to be a bubble. We're in the beginnings of a bubble. That's what I believe. We're also seeing too, like, and they were talking about this on Stacker Sports last week. Um, like the Lakers just sold their team, Dallas Mavericks just sold their team. There's a lot of sports selling going on, sports teams selling. There's expansion happening. There's casinos that are going to be built next, and they were talking about this on Stacker Sports last week. Um, like the Lakers just sold in the 2000s, like this is normal. They're going to keep 15% of, and this is just how cycles work in centuries or whatever. And I'm probably Gray Ruby. Sorry for ruining your how you expressed it, but he was saying just something. It's just a very practical way of um, getting a return on your original investment, even if you bought it 30, 40 years ago. Because I think the Lakers sold for like 10 billion or something. But it just goes back to like who are the world's best investors, and
Mm,
it turns out it's. But yeah, let's get
mm.
post. You got any thoughts on that?
Okay.
The world's top investor.
Oh, there you go. Bang, bang.
Jump into yours, which is you had notes on DOS due to invoice to send sats.
Yeah. Crap, I didn't pull that up. But yeah, I think it's 0x1
Yep.
BTC. Um, they create another post. They do these awesome posts. They spend a lot of time monitoring Bitcoin's peer-to-peer network and Bitcoin miners for block templates and stuff. I guess there was uh, what appeared initially to be perhaps an anomaly that they had a hard time diagnosing, but there was like very high CPU usage on Bitcoin core nodes for a period of time, and for many people on the network. But it turns out that there, as the result of like some kind of like rune minting thing that was happening, uh, it caused some of the peer-to-peer system on Bitcoin nodes, the things that share transactions with other Bitcoin nodes. It had a small error, or not really an error, but an inefficiency in the way that it would process a lot of messages when they were received. And it caused this CPU spike, which caused a lot of nodes to kind of disappear from the network temporarily. Like they effectively got DOSed, denial of service. And yeah, so it just kind of disrupted the network in some like a sort of a subtle way, not that significant, and I don't think many people even noticed that it happened. But it did have an effect and was eventually patched. And I just thought it was a very nice post, kind of detailing what happened and um, describing also how some of the people who we assume are like chain analysis companies monitoring like where Bitcoin transaction, trying to figure out what IP addresses perhaps Bitcoin transactions originate from. They actually made this specific problem worse. Is one of the things that they allude to. in the post. Anyway, I really love his articles, and I hope he keeps, or they, I don't even know if it's a dude, but I hope they keep doing them because they're like awesome. Like I didn't even notice that this happened until this post was written, and then I also didn't have to go looking for why it happened because they wrote about it. So
That's wild.
yeah, I don't even know if it's of keeping all mail that they receive, and so Simple Stacker uh, was maybe perhaps procrastinating some of the research and decided to sort through the mail. Um, and in sorting through the mail, it occurred to them that they should probably go paperless with more of it. And he used that experience to of keeping all mail that they were trade-offs. It took him 20 years to adopt a technology that would have made his life better. And it's like just an interesting fact of humans that we kind of are slow on the uptake. And so even if technology improves, and even if it improves, especially if it improves really fast, um, we are likely not. It's not going to diffuse very quickly or as quickly as it
Yeah.
emerges. And I thought, in general, it's just a really interesting, kind of cool.
Yeah. Got the last one here is no, that's all of it. And then the other one is Pleb Poet as in zine. We have Pleb Poet right here. Do you want to talk about your zine real quick? Okay. Um here. Yeah, you can come here if you want to. She Keyan can't hear you, but if you want to talk about your zine.
Hey Keon, you're just the best, and I just miss you, and can't wait till you come back. And it's good to see you on the screen. And I made a zine, and this is what it looks like. I really liked it. The theme was grassroots, which just seemed to really work out with a lot of the content that came up this week naturally. And I love that synergy and serendipity of it all. Um, and basically, yeah, check it out. You can read it, you can buy it. Same type of deal. You guys know the drill. But I do, still want to hear any feedback or ideas about anything that should be going in there that I'm missing, or, any thoughts. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate that. Oh, yeah, like the fingerprints are on it. Car says my fingerprints are on it. But that's basically all I have to say. Pass it back.
What did you think, Keyan, when you saw it?
Oh, I thought it was cool. It seemed to have more color than usual and more green. I like the color green. It makes
Yeah.
me feel calm, which is rare. But yeah, in general, I liked it. I haven't gone through it all yet. Um, but I like them all. Pleb Poet doesn't disappoint. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah,
Yeah, I saw it this morning. I was like, yeah, this feels like her style all over it. And then when I saw like this stuff here on the side, the way she did the Bitcoin in San Diego, I was like, oh, that's amazing, dude. Makes me want to visit that. Um,
all right. Yeah, that
yeah,
post. I remember that post.
yeah, it's very creative. It's just a very creative way to present Stacker.News in a different way. I mean, not to say that your site is bland, but
It can be more.
but it's a different spin. It's a here you go. Let me say it this way. It's a reinterpretation of Stacker.News that I think kind of shows that like this is what artists do, right? Like when somebody says, "Hey, I'm gonna go create Dune," right? And they're like, "Cool, I'm gonna take your book and I'm gonna go make it into a feature film." This is like that version of that, but this is like what you do when you give artists, um, people that are talented to go and create that. This is what you get when you give them autonomy to do that. This is why I'm a big believer in giving people autonomy to create whatever they want. It's because you get stuff like this, and this is cool, really cool. Yeah, I like it. Not funded by my Bitcoin. Also, I didn't see that on me Monday. Really cool stuff. Anyways, get it. It's hot. It's released. When are you doing the book?
I just need like 3 supplies.
Okay.
I haven't gathered yet to like physically do it. So hopefully like next month.
Next month, she says. Next month till the book comes. Yeah, I think that'll be cool.
Cool.
Really cool. Okay, cool. I think that's everything. I think the last thing that we got is the fountain boost from last week. We got blockchain Boog says Zap the rant is something to think about. Thanks, Boog. And then Great Ruby said Zap. There you go. Keyan, what are you doing this weekend?
We didn't do Top Cowboys.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Do we want to?
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I don't know
We're
if you
trying to.
intentionally
So
skipped
also,
it.
I should mention we're gonna go. We're doing 2 parties this week. I won't say who they are. And then we also have somebody else that we're gonna go to something here at 6. So we have a lot of stuff going on tonight.
Which is very soon. Okay. Well, why don't we skip Top Cowboys?
No, we
this
can't. We
week?
can't
Yeah,
skip Top
no.
Cowboys. We can't skip. Stackers will be very upset. All right, Cowboys, let's do it.
Okay.
Top Cowboys. Here we go. We got Coob, Stacker in hiding, Undisciplined. Undisciplined is going higher and higher every week. I feel like he's going higher and higher every week.
I believe it's the same.
Oh, it is. So 117 is 633 days. Undisciplined is 640. Blockchain Book 619. Gray Ruby. Yeah.
I don't know if there was anyone who was higher up because maybe still stacking after all these years lost theirs.
Crypto or Cryoto Sensei. Jason B. Nilma Free TX. Look at me, Car. Spending a lot of time on Stacker.News late at night. Plepo at 33. Stack Harder. Real Bitcoin Doggy. Unschooled. Lois Mercury. Team Plube. I think. Jimmy Song 51. Ben the Carmen came back. Boom. For a day. Yeah, pretty good. We even got Bugle back. Look, Bugle make a comeback.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's all. Cowboy segment. Can't wait this weekend.
What am I doing? I think I'm hanging out. I'm gonna try to figure out what I'm gonna wear to a funeral.
Oh no.
I haven't bought anything yet. But I'm gonna do that. That's most of work stuff, but that's most of my plans. How about you, Car? What are you doing this weekend?
We're gonna go party tonight. Party some more. Gotta come back tomorrow. We're doing a workshop, BitX workshop, or Solo Satoshi BitX workshop, and then I gotta do some more work on Sunday. Go to church, praise the Lord, and come back on Monday and do it all over again. So next week's gonna be short because we got July 4th, right, on Friday.
Oh, I didn't even think of that, but yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I'll probably go watch the fireworks next week and stuff. Yeah, I don't know how we're gonna do Stacker.News next week. We'll figure it out.
Oh, we can have a special one or the fireworks in the background. I don't know. Not really.
I was thinking about taking Friday off, to be honest. I was thinking about taking Friday off.
Oh, okay. Maybe we can do it Thursday night.
I was thinking about taking Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off, actually, but we'll see. I mean, we'll figure it out. Maybe we'll do maybe we'll do Stacker.News live early Friday or something. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, convenient that Oliver is leaving before we celebrate our independence from his ancestors.
Yeah,
you should talk about that when you at your
yeah
dinner for him.
Well, we'll drink one for you tonight, Keyan.